Get ready to embark on a journey through the realms of music, self-reinvention, and relentless pursuit of passion with none other than the incredible Erdal. From his humble beginnings in the restaurant industry to carving out a trailblazing path in blockchain development, Erdal's journey is a testament to the power of grit, determination, and compassionate self-belief. In this captivating conversation, Erdal unveils the origin story behind his DJing career, the art of decomposing goals for digestibility, and the invaluable lessons learned through exploration and self-discovery. We're talking about breaking down huge, colossal dreams into bite-sized victories, embracing the mantra that everything is hard until it gets done, and spreading the transformative power of compassion like wildfire. But that's not all. Erdal and I get to share nuggets of wisdom on cultivating curiosity, the beauty of the beginner's eyes, and the importance of consistency in the pursuit of greatness. Get ready to banish those excuses, cultivate killer habits, and unleash your full potential. So get ready for a whirlwind of insights, inspiration, and infectious enthusiasm as we delve into Erdal's extraordinary journey and uncover the keys to unlocking your true passion and purpose in life. This episode is jam-packed with wisdom, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single moment of it. I'm so glad you brought it up because I was trying to find a way out of Istanbul and into music. Over and over again, time after time, you've amazed me with your enthusiasm to pick up new things and follow through without really having to receive the accompanying education or like the trade experience. You really gave me inspiration when you did this with DJing. So could you tell me about the journey? Like, when did you decide that you would be a good person to? I know you trust in your taste, and I trust in your taste as well. But it really takes a leap of faith to decide that you want to, take it more seriously.
Yeah.
At what mind frame were you when you decided to take on this DJing journey seriously?
I was in Thailand. I was in Kopangan, one of the underground parties. The music was just astounding. Is
it one of those parties you were talking about that's like super exclusive? Like you have to like walk in the jungle to sort of find the place?
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you just have to find it. I mean, you can't just bump into it. Right. Mm-hmm. And then I had this journey throughout the night. I was shot to the stars and came back. And then I realized that I lost the contact of one of the core things in my life that I enjoyed the most, which was music. And I thought, let me give it a try. And my friends, Dilara Aslı were into electronic music, and I started listening to it. I was listening to it, by the way.
I mean, that's kind of the reason why I integrated into the group, because I'm a very avid listener of electronic music too. I appreciate it so much, and the parties that people throw and the vibe that it brings to the people's hearts. So I definitely can relate to having that sort of impulse.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely that's something that just clicked on me at that time, at that night. And then I came to Istanbul and I got my first deck and started mixing. And then it wasn't enough for me. I got a bigger deck. I was like, no, it's not enough for me. I changed to I bought some different MIDI controllers. I changed my software, and then it just started picking up for me. It's just like I could mix like countless songs all together. When I mix, I don't usually mix like two songs, one on one after another. I have like samples just like looping through that I can just like make the transitions and all. When I started doing that, it was like I wanted to just visit the places that that music takes me back in my childhood, starting with those atlases and everything. And it takes me over there, so that nomadic techno.
So it's like a time travel thing for you.
It is kind of like a time travel for me. And then it changes though.
Ah, okay.
It changes. I mean, you could hear that like last weekend.
Yeah, like it was completely different than the stuff that you like and share and say like, oh, like this is a great track.
Yeah.
It was very different than the usual stuff that I was used to from you.
It was actually the after I started my music like DJing journey. It's shifting through to a different thing that I cannot just put my finger on. And I think, like you said in the beginning, is just like change is
the only constant.
Only constant.
Uh-huh.
A thing that in our lives, and it's just happening to me too. And then, that was back to your question. That was that night, and one of the nights that I spent in Aslı's house. Aslı, Çağdaş, and I listened to the set of B. Swenson for like 3 times in a row, like the same set. It was amazing. It just like.
It didn't get boring?
It blew my mind. Like, I could have listened to like 5 times more that night. And then I was so amazed by his music, and it just, okay, I'm going to do this. And then I started mixing, and I started gathering samples and all. And then after the pandemic hit, I decided to get some lessons, like production lessons from B. Swenson. Actually, I was kind of like.
I do remember that.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah, I did.
Can you tell me about that experience? Because
he's amazing.
Yeah, because like to have an opportunity to meet your influencer, to meet your maker, almost,
Exactly.
On some level, must be amazing.
His music. I'm gonna talk big words in here. His music kind of saved my life. He doesn't know that. Maybe he will.
Wow,
one day.
The music. What was that song? Last night a DJ saved my life.
Exactly.
Is like true, right?
Exactly. That is so true.
Oh God,
that is so true.
We found the real life example of this.
Exactly. That is so true. It's just saved my life. I was in a like depressive mood, and
you did have that hibernation period, especially when COVID hit.
Yeah, when COVID hit. I mean, I came back from Dubai. I couldn't go back. I was kind of like stuck in here. Couldn't get a job and whatsoever. I was in the restaurant business. If everyone is just curious, and then the music just picked up. I carried on with old job that I pursued on, kind of like pushed it. It was nothing for me, and then I started to experience the changes in the world that has been that was happening at the time, which was kind of like music, and the crypto. And the crypto at the time, and I started trading, and I started learning economy and whatsoever. I was hearing like economy is like something wrong, something in the institutional level. It's wrong that people were just telling us, but I didn't know the core cause, and I went down the rabbit hole, and I'm still in it.
As you do.
Yeah. One thing that I am proud of myself is I dedicate myself.
You do. I think that's a big part of turning your obsessions into something tangible, you know? Because I have a lot of friends who are obsessed with one thing or another, but they're just obsessed, period. But it takes a rational mind and sort of like sifting through the weed, separating the weed and the chaff to really make something of it, you know?
Well, if you want to learn something or if you want to excel in something, you need to decompose it.
So is this what like deep learning is?
Yeah, you need to put it in the components. And you need to decide what you want to do. There's a preliminary research that when you think that you assess the situation, and then you put it in the components that you want to pick it from, and put it in the DJing. I could have gone in a different way, like all random learning curve, but I didn't. I knew what I was doing. If you are passionate about something, and if you put it in the mechanism that could benefit you, the best of your interest, is the outcome is much more effective than the other.
So can we say in simpler terms, when you are consumed by an idea, and this idea is to become something. I recently heard about this idea. I think Tim Ferriss coined it, to get rid of the to-do lists and to create to-be lists. So you want to be something, but when you say I want to be a DJ, it entails hours and hours of work, just understanding different components of different things. Yeah. So maybe to achieve a goal, you really need to break it down to digestible, smaller steps.
Exactly. Like, great way to put it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would that be a correct assessment?
Exactly. Well, definitely.
Okay.
That's it.
What was the first step?
To want.
To want it. Okay, let's say you have that in you already, but you don't know what to do because it's, I mean, because I want this episode to be like about having the courage to begin again, not like restart, but reframe it into saying like begin again. Having the courage to begin again is remarkable, but if you do not have a roadmap, if you do not have a blueprint, it can get discouraging very quickly. So for you, what was that first step?
You know, I recently became a blockchain developer. I'm going to go back to the question, but I think it's one thing that I read on Reddit. Like I said, I decompose it. I put it in the components and the digestible pieces that I can, take it in, and then put it together and then put it in action. Music is the same. Whatever you do is the same, one way or another. I was looking at how to become a blockchain developer.
That's a tall order.
Huh?
That's a very tall order.
It is a tall order. Yeah, it's And then I was reading this Reddit post. He was one guy asked this, just like how to become a blockchain developer, what should I focus and whatsoever. There's one guy just put something in, and I won't forget it the rest of my life. He described how to become, because it's quite generic, that's what you need to learn. But he said something like very distinctive. He said, everything is hard until you get it done. Then it's easy.
Okay.
Then it's still in my mind. I keep that thought in my mind that every day I wake up and try to be the best version of myself, to do something, to accomplish something daily. Think of last weekend. I put hours and hours to
into that set.
Not that set in particular, but the mixing part of it,
The technical aspect.
the
of
technical
DJing.
aspect of it. So what I was approaching at that mixing aspect was quite technical. Then I thought, then I realized, and I noticed from other sets or other people, other DJs, it's just like they were just like being themselves, the successful ones that they can get the crowd. So I did the same.
So, I mean, I can only relate to it from my experience doing jiu-jitsu for almost 2 years now. I find it difficult still to show up to the training and try to, like just train every day. It's still the same difficulty that it is, but what's different is that I got better. So, like, every week I know a little bit more than I did last week.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I apply those things that I learned, it doesn't get easier. It's still the same. It's still the same difficulty. But since I'm better, it feels like it's less challenging.
Yeah.
Would you say that applies to music as well, or?
Definitely. Like I said, everything is hard until you get, like he said, everything is hard until you get it done, then it's easy. Period.
That's it.
And that's it.
Right. End of podcast, folks.
Yeah.
That's what you need to know. That's the only secret to life.
Yeah. I will remember this the rest of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like living with those sort of aphorisms,
Mm-hmm.
like finding, okay, books are influential, movies are influential, people are influential, but at the same time, like proverbs exist for a reason, it's
Mm-hmm.
sort of like distilled information
Mm-hmm.
from experiences
Mm-hmm.
in time, like thousands of years maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and they just distill it into a phrase, and people sort of take this as these mental notes that allow them to tap into certain
It's invaluable.
yeah
You can put a price tag on it.
yeah like if you truly embody the thing that you
Yeah.
have been exposed to,
Mm-hmm.
I think it really makes it a huge difference in like
Yeah.
following through.
Definitely. Well, like you said, it's a thousands of years of experience that we need to learn it from. So I try to learn it from the people who are experienced, and it shines through. I mean, it shines through.
It really does.
Yeah,
Like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right?
exactly. And you find your own way. You learn it. You learn the basics. You put things together. And it's in the beginnings, it's kind of like mechanic, and then the more time you spend on it, it becomes a part of you, and a part of you becomes it. So you put something from you in it. So I think that's what shines through, regardless of what you're doing. Regardless.
Exactly. Like applying the mental notes to yourself and using your experiences as a filter and like
Mhm.
creating something unique out of that
Mm-hmm.
is pretty special.
Yeah, definitely.
Along the same lines, all right. So this question's pretty deep, so feel free to spend some time thinking about it. So what was your why when you took up DJing or the blockchain development? So because the why is pretty important, I think.
Because I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
Are you talking about the DJing or talking about both? Like
Both.
Both, yeah.
I wasn't happy with what I was doing before all those.
And can you give a quick recap of what you were doing? I know you were in the restaurant business, but
I was in the restaurant business. I managed this restaurant chains pretty much all over the world. And I wasn't happy.
I know you had a gig with like Simitsarai.
Yeah. I did, and a few brands in Dubai. Not just that. I wasn't happy. It wasn't fulfilling. I needed this. I needed this creativity aspect of it. So my mind kind of like works as a mechanic, and at the same time as a creative person. So I think I'm one of those people, just finds the balance. We talked about this before, right? I think we did.
We might have.
Yeah, we might have.
But like, I'm just curious because there's not a lot of room for creativity when it comes to. I graduated from English literature. There's not a lot of creativity that goes into. I mean, maybe like. Analysis, like you can really get creative with your analysis. But I kind of feel like architecture is just very creative in itself. Like
it is. I had a degree in city planning, and urban planning.
Yeah, like architecture, city planning.
Yeah,
like,
same, almost the same.
Yeah.
Except we did extensive analysis. And I realized that I wasn't gonna be creative enough in the environment of Turkey or anywhere that I go.
So it's not the way it's applied is not creative.
Yeah, no, it's not. It was not fulfilling for me. And then I took the different step to get into the restaurant business. I started with the business development side, and I'm picking up the locations and the investors and so on. And it just continued for like 8-10 years, and then I quit. And I found myself in music, and then like last year I dived into this crypto rabbit hole, and I learned like economy and how it works and how they work. I started trading myself, lost some, gained some, and then I paid my way into the smart contracts. That's where everything changed for me.
How did you choose? I mean, there's a lot of things in life to pursue, and I know you're in touch with your like your being, so you know who you are to some extent. So you would know like what's good for you. I mean, you're sort of like this, in my mind, this analytical figure who likes to mess around with the underlying sort of mechanics of certain things. But still, I would like to hear how do you choose things to pursue? Like, how did you end up pursuing blockchain, crypto?
It just blew my mind.
When you heard about it?
Yeah, when I learned about it.
When you learned about it, okay.
Not heard about it.
When you like sort of like...
Yeah, just learned about it. It just blew my mind. It's the only thing that can unite one of the things that can unite the people all over the world. That can free us from our from the traditional institutions.
The middlemen.
Especially financial, especially. It will resonate in different institutional level, but first thing is the financial. Yeah, it will free us. Then I realized I've always craved for something that I can find myself, that I can dedicate myself into, that I can make an impact, like you said, in the course of history. The blockchain was one of them, and music was one of them. But the blockchain itself, it's just like. Still in the infancy period, but I think its time will come. Its time will come. Not in the near future that people anticipate, but it will.
Eventually
it will.
I'm very bullish on crypto as well. I mean, like I had the same kind of motivations when I realized that English teaching was not as fulfilling as I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I transitioned into the space, the crypto
Mm-hmm.
space myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to learn about how you stay on track, because motivation is, I think it comes and goes, right? It's not like
Sure.
something that like you always have. Once you start doing something, it's like you get to a point where you're kind of bored of it, or it's too complicated. So what's your protocol to stay on track?
I like problem solving that I figured out about myself. So everything is, I mean, every day I need to tackle with problems when writing code, whether it's an app, whether it's something on the blockchain itself, whether it's something that talks to blockchain. That's what keeps me waking up with excitement every day. That's the core reason. Yeah. And to make a positive impact in the course of history, ultimately, and hopefully.
Like even if it's a small contribution, it's still a part. Like that's why religion is so powerful. You can be a small, individual,
Mm-hmm.
sort of insignificant if you think about the bigger scheme of life. But when you belong to some bigger idea, some bigger power, some greater force, then that kind of makes you feel fulfilled.
Exactly. I want to, like I said, we all want to exist, and I want to exist in that way, by being productive.
So going back to the why and reminding yourself that the work is not going to do itself, and maybe the curiosity.
That's exactly. I'm glad that you brought it up. I have like the urge of curiosity, like never ending curiosity. And one thing that just keeps me going is just I learn something new every day. It's it's an ever changing industry. Like I said, it's in the infancy period.
It's the cutting edge.
It's the cutting edge. It's just like you pave the way. Whatever you do it first. You do it first.
It's like discovering the new world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like Vespucci style.
Exactly. It's the pioneers. We're the pioneers of this new era. And that's how I feel like. And it's going to change. It's going to change the world. Like I said, not in the near future, maybe, but eventually it will. Yeah, eventually it will. So yeah, back into your question, the why is the urge of curiosity in the core. Yeah. So,
Always stay curious.
yeah, always stay curious.
Do you have a special way of staying? I'm sorry I cut you off there. What were you going to say?
No worries. Go ahead.
Is there a certain way to stay curious? Are you like a special blessed person that is always curious and the curiosity never dies? Or do you have certain rituals, or do you have a schedule? Well, I mean, you can't really put curiosity in a schedule, but like, do you have a strategy to stay curious?
Not really.
Not really.
Not really.
Mm-mm.
It just comes naturally, and I'm so grateful for that. But I found myself that I got to be aware of myself, that what I want from life, and I think it's quite common problem amongst people. They usually don't know what they want to be, what their purpose. This is my purpose, and I found mine, and I'm pursuing on that. It's just like every day I wake up, and I wake up with excitement, and I put my best to be best version of myself.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day.
Absolutely. We're back, people. So back on my question, I want to kind of answer my own question here, because I think there might be some sort of secret to it that's not like obvious for a lot of people. I think we talked about this in the last episode, but kind of the curiosity. When we're born, we're curious about everything, right? We ask questions about like, oh, like what is that? What is this? Oh, why? Or why? You know, like why is this? How is this? So on and so forth. But as we age and we sort of like take the same sort of routes to reach a certain destination, the path that we choose when we go when we use it over and over again, it just settles down, and like the grooves are deeper, so we can't really think about another way to do it. So we kind of lose that beginner's mindset. And what I found in my life, and I think that's what's happening in your life as well, is to try new things that you suck at.
Exactly.
Because when you are confronted with the very fact that you suck, you are horrible, you are just, you know, like so mediocre at the thing that you kind of like. Let's say painting, you know, like you've always wanted to paint and you pick up a pen and try to paint, or
I'm terrible at it.
but like that just gives you the blessing of the beginner's eyes.
Exactly. Yeah, you're totally.
And that's
right.
how I feel like I stay curious.
Yeah.
You know? I have no idea how to do a podcast, but here I am, like giving my best shot, you know?
Yeah, this it's the thing that you enjoy, and that makes you progress. That you go out of your comfort zone to do something. It's actually going that extra mile that adds up to you, and adds up to your to the people that you interact with. You know what I mean? It resonates, it echoes as you go along, as you pursue. So, and this is why we're doing this. This is why we're having this conversation.
Yeah, totally. It's just to remind ourselves that there's new ways of looking at something that we've been. I mean, you've heard about let me sleep on it, like the idea of like sleeping on it. You know, like you're working on a project, whether it be for work, for creative purposes, and you just seem to be stuck. You can't figure out like what the next step is, or like you seem to be repeating the step over and over again. It doesn't really work. But once you just take a step back and just sleep, and when you come back to it, you magically just find the answer sometimes. You know?
I learned it in 2017.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
My ex-girlfriend, I was stuck in something, and she just said, like, just sleep it out. Sleep on it. I'm like, okay. And I slept on it. And then the next day, nothing has changed. It did not. And then the next day, nothing. The next day, nothing. The next day, nothing. But when you make it as a habit, then it becomes something, which I want to come to that point. Make it a habit. Make it a routine.
You are your habits.
Make it a routine that you wake up every morning and you know kind of like what to do during the day, and then you allocate some time for what you want to achieve. That's quite important. Whether it's something that you invest in yourself, whether you invest in others, it doesn't matter. Make some time for it and allocate some time. Even if it's a small step, just do it. Just do it. Because it's enthusiasm and the will to do it, and the willpower is a big part of it. But the most part, to me is the consistency. Do the same thing every fucking day, and then you'll get to a place that you feel comfortable with yourself. It can be anything, like you say, like drawing, like music, like learning something new. It doesn't matter. If the will is there, yeah, it has to be there. But if the will is not there, find something that makes you excited, that makes you get out of the bed every single day. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. But yeah, do it consistently.
Right.
Yeah.
And until you find it, I think it's a matter of trying different things until you hit something that resonates with your inner being, with the person you are. I'm going through this. It's funny because my brother is 14 years younger than me, and I kind of feel like I'm, helping my parents raise him in some way, and I kind of feel like it's my responsibility to expose him to different things so he can try, and it's if you don't try, you won't know what's good for you.
Definitely. Yeah. It comes to you naturally. You just need to explore.
Yeah, the exploration phase is important.
Yeah, the exploration phase is important. What made you, or what made me start with the DJing or blockchain? The exploration, the curiosity. But for me, for my case, it was the curiosity. Anyone, if I can do it, if I can learn anything from scratch, and I think everyone can do it. Because, like you said the other day, maybe like last week when we were speaking at Dilara's house, it's like no excuses, man. No excuses. You can always create some time, which I did. I just got into my man cave. I learned all those stuff, and I'm kind of like proud of myself, and I take a pride in it.
Your friends are way more prouder than you are.
Really?
Of course they are.
Are they?
It's kind of an inspiration, because like you said, if you can do it, like, I don't necessarily think I'm a gifted special person. I just think I always thought in my life I was like, an average student, an average son, and just an average person, But like the difference comes when you combine the curiosity plus the time you put in. Like you said, once the exploration phase is over and you've found something that is sort of, oh, you know what, I kind of like this more than other things I've tried. Let me try it again. Let me try it again. Let me try it once more. Let me try it for 2 hours tomorrow. Let me try it for 5 hours this weekend. It's that consistency. It's that habit thing that you're talking about where it's kind of like food, right? Yesterday, my friend told me something special about how food acts in our body. So the more, let's say we're eating olives right now, right? So when you put olives in your body, then the bacteria sort of like dictates how we feel and our mood in our life, because once you put that food in your body, then your body's like, oh, okay, like, this is good, and the next day you put that food again, and the bacteria just get more and more that dissolve that the olives and then incorporate it to your body, and then by like 2 years, then your body craves the olives because you've been exposing that to your body for such a long time. And I kind of feel like the habits go the same way. You are your habits. You are what you do every day.
Exactly.
If you smoke every day, you're a smoker. If you just are on Instagram every day, then you're just the product, like you
Absolutely.
are. You are the like these big tech companies spend so much money, so much time.
You are what you consume in any way you think of. When I learned trading, I realized this everything that we do is a trade.
Transactional world we live in.
Everything that we do is trade. We spend time on it. We trade our time for it. So then I realize is just like, how can I use the time, the best of my interest. Then I started waking up like at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. That I think that made the difference. Then I can get so much stuff done until the noon and everything. The rest of the day is mine. Do whatever you would do, whatever you want to do.
It's crazy how like a concentrated amount of time, like let's say like 3 months of concentration, 6 months of concentration, can take you like years ahead of the game. Like if you just spend time like over and over again every day for long periods of time, it can really
that's
carry.
what I did.
That's what you did.
I think
That's exactly what you did.
Yeah, because I just got in my man cave and started learning coding, how to program.
That's no easy feat too, because you're talking about being in the restaurant business. It's like planning. I mean, sure, there might be some aspects that are parallel to, coding, etc. But I think in itself, it's such a different field.
Yeah, it is. It's totally a different field. I'm actually not that an alien of the computer space. I got my first computer at like 92. Yeah, I started programming when I was a kid, and then I quit for some reason. And then I wanted to go get into the computer science degree at like age of 35. I couldn't do it, and pandemic just hit, and I've just discovered myself all over. Basically, I just put the effort that makes me feel content and happy, that productive, and then just picked up from there. I'm just enjoying the ride. Yeah.
So it came from like resurrecting the tech savvy Erdal in
Oh
you.
yeah. Oh yeah. That's well. Speaking of tech, though, it's an amazing thing, and I think we're in the infancy period, not just with the tech stuff, not just with the blockchain stuff, but as humanity. I mean, how far do we know? Like 6,000 years, 8,000 years, when we invented the writing.
It gets hazy.
Right? I mean, think about it, like 4.5 billion years old, 5 billion years of the sun, and 13.8 billion years of universe of time. And we, as Homo sapiens, as around here, we're like 200,000 years, maybe like a bit more than that. And we know the furthest that we know is like 12,000 years BC. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, what the fuck do we know?
Here we are.
Yeah, I mean,
talking about blocks and chains.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's just like we're all in the infancy period. It's just like don't take things too seriously, because you're not that special. We are not that special. That's how I think. But in a way, treat yourself. Start with yourself, with compassion, and then to the others. It goes a long way, and I think it will save the world. Love and compassion, especially compassion, will save the world.
That unconditional.
Yeah.
The unconditional love. Wow, you're singing to me, Erdal.
I'm glad.
Oh man, it's what the world needs to hear. So I do have one more question. If you could roll back the time and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you say?
Oh fuck, that's a tough one. I would say a lot of things. Yeah, I would say a lot of things, but then again, the fucker will listen to me, and I wouldn't be the same person.
Yeah, like you might actually create a ripple in the fabric of universe, in the universe, and maybe like mess with the delicate balance of things.
Yeah, the fabric of time.
Uh-huh.
What would I say?
Don't say too much.
No, I'm not gonna. Well, what I would say.
But don't say too little either.
Well, what I would say is listen to the experienced people more.
That's important.
That's what I haven't done when I was growing up. Now I do. Now I do, definitely. I'm all ears when somebody's talking. But that time I was just like head over heels. Yeah, just like yeah. That's one thing that I would say, and I think it would have gone a long way.
Yeah. They do say like it's smart to learn from your mistakes, but it's wise to learn from other people's mistakes.
Absolutely. And I learned it in when I'm close to 40.
Oh, okay. It's like, you know, it could have been, I mean, maybe this time it was necessary for you know, for it to sort of pan out the way it did. We can't go back in time and change anything. But it's a good exercise to sort of reflect in retrospect, and I mean, it's just for, you know, like you're saying, we should have listened to, or I should have listened to people more. But it's kind of like for people out there listening to us. It's that's why that's why I started this podcast. It's so like that people could take some value from our experiences, because we've been experiencing life in one way or another, and I think our experience is valid, you know.
Well, yeah, that's for sure. We are all experiencing time, and we're all experiencing not just life, but the time itself. In a scientific way, we perceive it as in a linear thing, but it's not. It's not. I don't want to go deeper into that, but it's not.
Don't break my brain.
No.
I still need it.
No, it's relative, and it comes to the relativity. We're not able to perceive how it works at the moment, but we can enjoy the ride, when we can make the most of it while we're at it. You know, it's one thing that just, you know, keeps me wake up like early in the morning, just experience the life, experience the time itself, what it has to bring, because it's amazing. Everything that happens, it's just like amazes me. I lost it for many years, and I took that spark, and I got that spark when I started making music, when I was exploring what I wanted to do. That's actually made a significant change on myself. Yeah, it's just kind of like becoming like my personal rant of it.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I hope someone just picks something up.
Totally. I mean, another follow-up to this question would probably be to anyone listening who's right at the beginning of their career, or at their school life, or perhaps someone like yourself, you know, who had the courage to begin again, or is looking for the courage to begin again. What would you say to them?
Do something what excites you. Do something what makes you wake up with the excitement. Do something what makes you get out of the bed every fucking morning.
Yes. Yes. Be obsessed with your passion,
Exactly.
whatever that is.
Go after it. Go after it. It's just, it can't go wrong. If you're not hurting yourself or others, then it's right. Then it's right. Just go for it. Yeah. Yeah. And put effort. And then, and practice anything that you do. If you're struggling at the moment, or whomever is just listening to it, if you're struggling, you're not alone. You hear that. A lot of people say that, but you're not alone. Just wake up, even in small steps. Just do it. Just do it. Everything is hard until you get it done, and then it's easy. Kudos to that guy. I can't remember his name.
I love that. I love the anonymous quotes. And I think we should wrap it up here. But that was very, very beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, my friend. It didn't feel like that we're recording the podcast or anything.
Absolutely not.
We do that like...
It's like just two buddies having a conversation. That, you know...
That's what makes it valuable.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes life valuable when it progresses naturally.
It's that organic texture that we're looking for, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This is Heads and Tails. Until next time. Peace.